All right, we back. We back with the homie Woo and Mr. James AVERHART. I gotta close it. I am not great at
roll like 3 times in a row. Did I get it right?
Nah, I'm not great at names. At all.
It's all good.
But we want to give you an opportunity to tell the people about yourself. Kind of who you are, where you from, and a little bit about why you're running for Congress.
Man, appreciate it. Thanks, man. Thank you, brother, for just simply inviting me out. I'm enjoying it.
Nah, sir, thank you
Yeah.
for coming. Because when you win,
Yeah.
when you win, I'm hitting the news stations up and I'm gonna tell them to play this because we had him first.
No doubt.
Yeah.
That's a good part. And you got him right, Jim.
But no, sir, thank you for coming.
Appreciate
It's
it.
all good. You know me, brother. You're my frat brother. I'm James Hart, born and raised in Mobile. I'm a native son of Alabama. Grew up in the Maysville area, in Brooklynfield area. I was raised by a single parent, myself, and I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. Grew up. My father was killed at a young age down on Texas Street back in the day, and my grandfather pulled me up to Monroe County. Went up there, and also, I say my younger days, my 11th, 12th grade year, I went to Monroeville, and I graduated from high school at J.F. Shields. While in Mobile, I also attended Pillars and went to Williamson as well. I was going to go and play football at Tuskegee, but I thought I was grown. I didn't want to play football. I didn't want to go to school. Didn't want to go to college. So I went to the Marine Corps just to get my life, on the right line. Had a lot of relatives that was getting in trouble. Friends that living, doing that thing.
Yeah.
And being raised by a single parent, one thing I knew, I wasn't going to embarrass my mom. So I went into the Marine Corps to do 4 years. My 4 years turned into the 30 years, 2 months and 12 days. In that tenure, I had the opportunity to, not glorify combat, but I served in combat, had leadership roles. I was a Marine Corps drill instructor at Parris Island, the Marine Corps. While in the Marine Corps, I became officer. And I had the opportunity to be the warden of 3 prisons and the commissioner of 12. Now, I said I didn't want to go to school, but the Marine Corps, the military itself, as you know, is downsizing, but you had a lot of young individuals coming in, and they were smart in the military. Smart in the military. Being an officer, I had to get some education.
Yeah.
So I began to get my education. Once I got that associate, I thought I was doing some great things, but I got a bachelor's in criminal justice, a master's in security management. But I was reminded of when I was in combat high, I prayed to God if He just got me out of that situation, I'd do what He wanted me to do.
Right.
So somewhere in there, I just follow my heart, and I just give God the credit for that. Is that I have a PhD in theology and biblical studies.
Man, look at that.
And so
Look, that's something that I didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't know that, bro?
No, sir.
Yeah, a
Hallelujah.
PhD in theology and biblical studies, and I'm currently working on another PhD with Ashford University, Organization Management and Leadership. So I'm taking advantage of that money, right?
Yes, sir. I already know.
I'm taking advantage of that money. So I'm working on another PhD, Organization Management and Leadership, as I grind. Now, one would say, why are you running for office,
That's the question that we want to know.
Okay, let me get to that, my brother. Having the opportunity, as I stated, being the commissioner of correction, my office was in the Pentagon. So I had oversight of all the military brigs, Marine Corps brigs, become brig to prisons, the Marine Corps brigs, and I was a stakeholder with some Marines at Fort Leavenworth and all of the native facilities as well. So I had oversight as well. So during this tenure, I had the opportunity to work on Capitol Hill with the 111th and the 112th Congress. Now, how I had the opportunity to work on Capitol Hill, coming from Alabama, I think I was really sheltered, just hung out with my friends and so forth, but I don't think I really experienced racism at that time as a young kid. I think our parents may have experienced it, but as kids we were sheltered from all of that. But I had the opportunity to volunteer my time, and I found out about racism in the military. You know, how these brothers, much like the Tuskegee Airmen and the Buffalo Soldiers, but they were called, for the Marine Corps, they were called the Montford Point Marines. These are the first black Marines who trained at a segregated base during World War II time frame, 1942 to 1949. These brothers trained at a segregated base at a place called Camp Lejeune. But it wasn't actually on the base. It was outside the gate because the military, more so the Marine Corps, didn't want them. So a lot of people don't know the Marine Corps was the last branch of service to accept African Americans in the ranks. A lot of people don't know that. And they had to be made to do that. But when I found out about this, I was a young sergeant then. I got involved. I started to meet these brothers. You know, a lot of them was out in the military, and they were simply just working on base and out in the community churches. You know, it was not something that they told everybody. But I found out these Marines. So they had an organization called the Montford Point Marines. I got involved in this organization, and theoretically, in 2005, that was in 1995 time frame that I became a member of the organization. In 2005, I started a chapter in Quantico, Virginia. In 2009, I became the national president of the entire organization, which consisted of 42 chapters. You know, because I was so, just, amazed at the perseverance that these brothers had taken, did. And that was all my volunteer service. When I got off work, that's what I was doing. And I just pushed the agenda. But when I became the national president, which I didn't want to be the national president, they wanted me to be the national president. And I was the only active duty. I was active duty Marine at the time. But I am the first Marine to be the national president of this organization. But I worked with some of my colleagues, the past national presidents, and we posed to Congress to award the Congressional Gold Medal to the Montford Point Marines. And President Obama was in the seat, and I tell you what, we pushed, and we eventually had to lobby Congress and so forth as the national president, which afforded me the opportunity to be on active duty to also just take off my uniform and walk in Congress and go see each and every representative, Democrat and Republican, in the House of Representatives and in the United States Senate, both sides. And at the end of the day, we received a unanimous vote to award the Congressional Gold Medal to the Montford Point Marines.
That's awesome.
And President Obama awarded that medal in 2012. He signed off on that bill, in which I, along with one of my past national president, helped author that bill. So we wrote that bill and found a sponsor. I found a sponsor in the House and I found a sponsor in the Senate. I had Corinne Brown, Congresswoman Corinne Brown from Florida. She was our sponsor. And in the House, and Kay Hagan was our sponsor in the Senate. And we pushed this bill and got it passed. Now, the reason I worked in the 111th Congress, I learned we made some mistakes. We didn't get it passed in the 111th Congress, which flowed into the one in the 12th. That's how I work with both, those Congress.
So, it sounds like to me, that you put your faith in God.
Yeah, definitely.
And
definitely.
A lot of times, like, we might miss our calling because of ourselves, but because those positive Marines wanted their voices to be heard, wanted their story to be told, and saw something in you.
True.
Because you didn't want that position as that national president.
Not by no means.
And I bet you was trying to figure and come up with any and every type of excuse it was.
Well, when they, I really wanted to be I was the senior regional vice president, chapter president and senior regional vice president. Then I just simply wanted to, and I like progression. So I wanted to be the vice president, the national vice president.
Before jumping into that presidential role.
So
which is understandable, given the military background, because you like to take those steps. But they saw something in you. They saw something in you to say, hey, this young man at the time can lead and get our voices to be heard. And I think, man, like, from just hearing this, like, that's amazing. Because for one, I never knew about those Marines. Never knew about them ever.
Yeah.
Always knew about the Buffalo Soldiers. Always knew about the Tuskegee Airmen, but I mean, never knew about these Montford Point Marines, and that's amazing. And like I said, for them to have that confidence in you to say, "Hey, we want you to be our national president," that's pretty amazing. And I think this is telling your story of why you may be running for this office now.
Yeah, it's a definite testimony. During that 6 years, I was the national president from 2006 to 2015. During that tenure, we received the Congressional Gold Medal, got a ship named after these brothers. We built a $1.8 million monument in record time, and got a holiday named after them as well. So we have 4 things that happened in that 6 year period of time that will affect these guys until the rest of their lives. And plus all Marines, not just African American Marines, all Marines, because it's a part of Marine Corps history now.
Yeah.
So I had the opportunity to do that, and I learned a lot. When I retired from the Marine Corps, talking about my why. Having the opportunity to work on Capitol Hill, all the schools and training that I have received in that 30-year period is well over 150 schools that kind of accredited in regards to training along with my civilian counterparts, law enforcement, anti-terrorism, force protection officer. As we spoke earlier, I'm instructor for pressure point and control tactics. I'm an instructor for take out mobile teams on weapons of mass destruction.
Basically, you trying to say, don't mess with him.
No, I'm
That's
not
basically
saying
what he
that.
said. Because he done said this pressure point and all. This dude is he's training MMA fighters.
Well, no, I said that for the reason, when we talk about Mr. George Floyd,
Right.
And how I've looked at this tape, this video, and how sick it makes me because I see what he's doing.
Yeah.
I can see, because when you're trained to do something, you know what it is. To the average eye, you don't.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah, we just looking at it like, damn, his knee on his neck, he can't breathe. But you looking at it as actual like,
I'm scrutinized.
That's not tact.
Yes, absolutely correct. Yeah. In retiring from the Marine Corps, I had 7 jobs waiting on me, in D.C., with Federal Bureau of Prison and so forth. But, having the opportunity to work on Capitol Hill, I got that bug. God just put that in my spirit, and I had to come back home. I had came back home, and it was actually came back home, and actually got called back.
Yep, you had to go
back to DC, and that's when they sent me to the Pentagon. And went back up there, and was able to do some great things. We did some great things and finish off this career and everything. President Obama called me, office called me back, did some things, and some things I was doing in the military at that time, which, been crazy not to accept that, So I did that, then I retired with 30 years or so forth. But in doing so, I feel like, God blesses us so we can bless others. I'm a young man, retired 30 years, and I have too much knowledge to sit on my laurels and not do anything. As I stated, I'm just being obedient in that regards, and I feel like at this point I have an inherent obligation to come back and try. At least I can say I tried to be a voice. Meaning I've seen the chamber. I used to go leave work and go sit in the chamber and just see how they perform. And what we're seeing now on CNN and TV is not what the chamber looked like. Well, let's say when President Obama, Clinton, Bush was in office. It's not. It's to me in complete disarray. So, but having the opportunity to see how it works and know what happens on a day-to-day basis on Capitol Hill, I'm built for it. So I came back and we need a voice at the table. In 54 years, hasn't been a Democrat in the table from the Alabama 1st Congressional District. Never been a female. There's never been an African American man at that table. To speak for the people. So, that person is me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm running. I have an obligation to my ancestors, our ancestors, to run for this office. It's not about me. To me, it's about we. if we're going to make some serious changes in the Alabama 1st Congressional District, then we need to have a voice at the table. And I assure you, right now, the 1st Congressional District do not have a voice. The 1st Congressional District consists of Mobile County, Baldwin County, Escambia County, Washington County, Monroe County, and Clark County. And only because of gerrymandering, there's a little line cut there. You have Jackson and Grove Hill are the only 2 counties in Clark County that falls in the 1st Congressional District. So I call it 5.5 counties. But in those 5 counties, you have well over 750,000 people. Okay, you have well over 7,000 miles, and I assure you, I ran down, went up and down every road, highway, byway, as well as dirt roads. Because I think it's important to meet people.
Yeah.
I want to knock on their door. I want them to know who James AVERHART is.
Yeah.
I want to tell them I want to tell them not just my story, but I want to talk to them about the issues and concerns, their issues and concerns. And that's something politicians don't do. And I've learned some very hard lessons, man, out here. In this district, our district alone, and just being in DC, there's about 22 issues that just hearing people talk about things from a local level to a national level. There's about 22 issues. If you go to my website, you'll see probably about 11 or 12, something like that, because you can't talk about everything, but you keep everything, written down on your head or so forth, and just continue to listen to what people are talking about. Kind of answer your question, one of your questions, brother. What I see as it pertains to African Americans, these young brothers and sisters that I meet, they're not fired up. They're not hungry. They have truly lost confidence in the system, the institution in itself.
Yeah.
They've lost confidence. So, I meet young brothers all the time, young sisters all the time that talk about their vote don't count. Our vote don't matter. They know who they're going to get already. Well, I say, well, hell, who is they? Your vote count. Your vote matter. It doesn't matter who you vote for. I will hope that you will research your candidate, but you need to vote. You have a right to vote. Yeah. People have died, so you can vote.
So you're running for the 1st Congressional seat.
1st Congressional District.
Yeah. 1st Congressional District.
Yeah, 7 districts in the state of Alabama.
Okay.
That's not to cut you off, brother. That's predicated, again, it was very important with the U.S. Census. So your districts are built on the individuals. So 10 years, every 10 years. So we know, as I mentioned, 750,000 plus individuals 10 years ago in our district. Well, we know there's well more than 750 now.
Yeah.
So we stand to gain in a district. But because of COVID-19 and so forth, people, may not do their census. But it's a deeper issue than that, because a lot of people feel like if they do their census, they're going to take my money. They're going to stop my money. They're trying to get in my business.
Yeah.
That is not the case.
Right.
So people are not educated on whether it's an election or the purpose of a census.
1st Congressional District seat.
Right. Which consists of those 5 counties.
5.5 counties.
5.5 counties I just mentioned.
Okay, so on your card you're saying you're a candidate for the U.S. Congress. So you're running for the 1st Congressional District. Right. We have 7 districts. Right. So you 7 meet up and vote on what's gonna happen for the state of Alabama?
No. Each state have representatives. Like the state of Alabama have 7.
Yeah.
So that one individual in your district represent 750,000 individuals. He's your voice. He or she is your voice.
Right.
In Congress, making a decision for you in Congress. So it's important to vote someone in that's gonna have your interest in Congress.
Yeah.
And everything that we do in life, everything we do period, is political. And what I mean about that, politics control what day your garbage get picked up. That's the city council. They always say all politics is local.
So I guess when you 7 people, when y'all be going to Washington and voting on the behalf of the state of Alabama.
Right.
So
and not just those 7 people. I just want to be clear. Not just those 7
okay,
people.
explain it to me, brother. Because like I said earlier, like
each state
don't when it
has
comes to
representatives. Each state has representatives. There's about 400 plus representatives, individuals in the U.S. House of Representatives.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is that when there's an issue, a bill to be written or an issue to vote on, your representative go vote your interest. You know, you would talk theoretically. You would talk to your fellow representative from your state. So like in the state of Alabama, there's 7 districts. We only have 1 Democratic seat, and that's the 7th district by Representative Terry Sewell. Okay, that's Dallas County, Marengo County, and part of Montgomery, and so forth. So we have 1 Democratic representative. She theoretically has no help. Get issues passed. Right. She can pass, hopefully get issues passed for her district and the greater good of America and maybe Alabama. But it take on a life of its own.
Right.
But it would be great if if I write a bill as the sponsor and she as the co-sponsor. And then we are working together to get issues passed on behalf of the constituents in the state of Alabama. But it gets deeper than that. As a representative, you have to have a relationship with everyone on the Hill, good or bad, Republicans and Democrats. You have to go around and be able to communicate. The good thing about it with James AVERHART is my name is already up there. You see, my name is there because they remember that bill that I wrote. They remember me knocking on their doors. And some of these are career politicians, black and white. They've been there for a while. And so that's one thing that I think and feel more so that we have an up on that. It'd be great to be elected, to that seat, and then have the opportunity to work with my colleagues and individuals that know me already from my